Fanzone, united by the game, powered by Moore's World of Sport.
Welcome back to Fanzone, your hottest and latest destination for all Zimbabwean sport. We're bringing you passion, drama, and non-stop action, all happening here in the Fanzone studio. My name is Sips.
And I'm Steve Vickers. It's Advantage Scotland in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League as Simba Bhora falter. Dynamos out of the relegation zone and drama in the Division 1 Central region as Sheasham have pulled out. Why? What does it mean? What is the way forward? We're digging into all of that on the show this week. And great guests, as always. Welcome back to Star FM sportscaster Simba Chiminya.
Thank you very much, Steve.
You've got all the details on the Sheasham story for us.
Yes, digging deep from the time that they got into the Premier League up to now.
So we'll look at all of that a little bit later on. And this a super sharp guy here, Last Chiremba. He is a leading Simba Bhora supporter. Welcome, Last.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
So are we. Tough times at the moment for Simba Bhora. Disappointing few weeks, yeah?
Yeah, getting knocked out of the CAF Champions League, beaten by Cape Set was an eye for the first time this season. Losing at home, it was a tough game week. Indeed.
Yeah, well, great to have you with us. Find out what the mood is like amongst the Simba Bhora fans. It's going to be an interesting one, Sips.
Yeah, well, with the roadmap mapped out for this episode, let's dive into what happened over the weekend in Matchday 30. Talk about drama in a Matchday 30. Dynamos and Ngezi drawing a 1-1 at Rufaro Stadium. Obviously, a lot of rubbish there from a Takesure Chiragwi. We'll come back to that story, but 1-1 draw. It was an interesting match, to say the least, after the disruption, Steve. But what were your thoughts on that game?
It was just an extraordinary game. The own goal was incredible. From outside the box, the ball span off the defender's foot and over the head of the keeper. Haven't seen something like that very often anyway. And then those dramatic scenes with Chiragwi. But the point was good for Dynamos. It's a really good result. I think probably one win, one draw is all they need for safety now, most likely. I think Ngezi pretty much are out of the race now.
Yeah, as I'd said before, Ngezi and Dynamos will probably this game will end in a draw. I think Dynamos will probably draw out the rest of the season. But this win, Simba, what does it mean for Dynamos? They're out of the relegation league, out of the relegation zone. Are they fully safe now, or can they continue to move forward?
No, not safe, but it's still motivating for them that they haven't lost since Kevin Kaindu came. So it was a good result for them. But a result that I thought that, they just played to get that draw. Because even when they conceded first, they never, buried their heads to say that we have conceded early in the game. They continued probing, and they managed to get that equalizer. But I thought it was also because Ngezi could not keep their calm in that game, because if they'd been calm, they could have won it, because even at some point when they were a man down after that red card to Leslie Castigo, they continued dominating. They had better chances even in the second half, but it was that, moment of madness on the bench that affected them, because I thought if they had played well without emotions, they could have won that game. But again, to Dynamos, credit to them, because they just managed to get a point, which was really crucial, particularly this weekend when other teams that are also in the fighting for relegation dropped points, and they managed to get a point. It was really enough for them to move out of the relegation zone.
Well, pressure, points, maybe a bit of a malfunction there from Ngezi. Missed opportunities. And another team who suffered from missed opportunities, Simba Bhora against Caps, going down 1-0. Ismail Wadi scoring in the 39th minute. And from there, that seemed to do the trick for Caps United. Last, what were your thoughts on that game? Obviously, disappointing results, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, as you said, it was a disappointing result. But I think fatigue affected us a lot. Because if you look at the squad which played, we did the squad rotation so that we can rate some of the players. We give it all in the Champions League, and we were very unfortunate to be knocked out by a team from Eswatini. So fatigue was the main challenge. Then obviously, maybe if we had our star players who are injured, like for example, Potolusi Ngube was not available, Emmanuel Ziwocha, You've been the main man at Simba Bhora. So I think that was the missing part on the Caps game.
And so you drop points on Caps United. You're going to be playing triangle. Do you think there'll be more squad rotation, or we'll see a return to their star players?
Yeah, I think Joel Pasha will bring back the star players since we have rested, so that we can bounce back. We really need to retain that title. So hopefully we are going to Gibbo. It's not any easy place to be there at Gibbo Stadium. Hopefully we will go there and get at least maximum points. Yes, maximum points.
And 4 points behind the log leaders, Scotland. Are you still in good faith of Joel? Do you think he has what it takes to get you to the top again?
Yes, I believe we are going to win the title. Scotland, somehow they will drop the points. In Simba Bhora, we are now confident. We are experienced. We've won the league before, so we are better than Scotland. Also, we have a vibrant home. We have the identity. So Simba Bhora, I believe they are going to retain the title.
Lars, tell us how disappointed the fans were with the CAF Champions League exit, losing on penalties to Nsingizini Hotspurs of Eswatini.
Yeah, it's always a hard result to take, conceding in the last minute. But I think it has been the problem season all over. We've always struggling to finish up the games. Whenever we make substitutions, we end up being dominated. And again, we are always losing on penalties. I think we need to fix that problem in the coming season. Because since last season, we've been losing on penalties. Even this season, it has been a challenge. We have been struggling to finish off the games. It happened in Mutare against Manica Diamonds. It happened against the Dynamos. It happened again against Scotland at Trofaro. So we have been facing the same problem over and over again. I think we need to fix that. Maybe our fitness levels, they need to be up for the whole game, yes.
Yeah, and your only home defeat last season was the last game of the season at home when you were already champions, yeah? But this time it's come at a really crucial time to lose at home.
Yeah, last season, I think the players were already down in the league, being excited. We have won the championship.
They were out celebrating.
They were already celebrating. So, yeah, it didn't affect us so much. But as of now, we're in the title race, losing to Caps. And it's not always easy to play these traditional giants. They always have something. Playing Caps United, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Well, Matchday 30 brought us a lot of drama, and bar the drama, there were a couple of star performances. So we're going to be looking at our team of the week for Matchday 30. It's over to you, Steve.
Yeah, and as always, it's for you to agree or disagree in the comments. If you think we've got something wrong here, you can certainly have your say there. We think Stephen Kwaku for Caps United really did well with his clean sheet against Simba Bhora for Caps United, the Ghanaian. In defence, Talent Chamboko of Ngezi Platinum Stars, again on the score sheet. He's certainly in a good run of form in the second half of the season. Tafazwa Nyabunze for Moors, solid at the back. What a good season he's had. He makes it into our team of the week. Tino Muchkambizi of Moors, the assist there in the 1-0 victory. Ronald Chitio for Green Fuel. Rooney is still around, and a good solid performance from Ronald Chitio for Green Fuel. Donald Mudadi for Simba Bhora, really good in midfield. He deserves a place in our team of the week. Ishmael Wadi for the decisive goal for Caps United, which he took really well. It was an excellent finish from Wadi. He deserves his place there as well. Wilson Mensah, another important goal for Moors in the 1-0 victory. He's come in at a really important moment for Moors, the Ghanaian. Also, Karma Billiot, we're putting him in. He seems to be finding his form now. An assist for Scotland last Friday. And some nice touches as well. It's not totally there yet, but Karma seems to be finding his way now. Tymon Machope, another goal for Scotland. Might have had another one on top of that, but he finished so well when Karma fed the ball through to him. And Washington Navaya for Tel 1 continues his excellent form on the score sheet in their 3-1 victory. That's our team of the week. As we say, you are free to agree or to disagree, Sips.
Yeah, interesting team of the week there, Steve. It was a little bit harder to piece together. You can see 2 defenders, 4 midfielders, 4 forwards, but that is our team of the week. Interesting things happened over the weekend. There was drama at Reforest Stadium between Ngezi and Dynamos, but also a new development happening in Division 1. Our expert, Simba Chiminya, it's over to you. What is going on in Division 1? The main headlining story.
Yeah, actually, the story of the moment is that Sheasham have pulled out of the Central Region Soccer League. They said that they are pulling out because of a number of reasons. They just had a press conference detailing some of those things that they allege were not being addressed. So quite a number of things. They have been saying that the officials, the referees, were against them. And they also cited the issue of the player that played for... that was registered during the mid-season by Hard Rock, the team that they were competing for the title. Ifan Gwawa, he played for Dynamos on loan from Dulibadzimo and went back to Dulibadzimo and then registered for Hard Rock under a new name. But that issue was discovered when Hard Rock played ZRP Gwanda. So they were saying those issues have not been addressed, so that's the reason why they are pulling out.
But surely if they were at the top of the table until they lost to MSU over the weekend, if they're sitting at the top of the table, how can referees be biased or against them?
Yeah, these are the things that they've been raising since last year. And I was just listening to their chairman speaking at the press conference and some of the things that they've been highlighting. But we understand that when you've got grievances against referees, you write to the referees committee, and then those issues are addressed. And you also have to attach evidence to say we are aggrieved by a certain decision. So if it becomes hearsay, you say we believe the referees are against us, but without attaching the evidence, there's nothing really that the referees committee surely can do, because if there is nothing incriminating, and just been trying to dig deep from the region to ask if the referees committee, if there are letters of complaint from Sheasham to say we agree because of match A, B, C, D. The letter that was written to the National Association, ZIFA National Association, and it was copied to the Central Region. So it will be really difficult now for the region to reply to a letter that they were copied to instead of being addressed to them. And more so, I think when you don't attach the evidence, again, it's difficult. But this issue of officiating, yes, they've been complaining about it even last year, or even the games that they were also winning. Because for me, look, going into the past weekend, they last 3-4 games, they were leading 6 points, but then they lost to Gwanda Pirates and then lately to MSU. And another issue that they've also highlighted is about the Ifan Gwawa issue, the player. But the complainant in this case is ZRP Gwanda. And probably should be ZRP Gwanda who should be making noise more than them. Because they wanted the region or the league to act promptly on this issue. But this is an issue about falsification of documents and everything. So it needs the police to do their work first. So it's the police who have to do the investigations, come up with their report after finalizing everything. That's when the region will act. So at the moment, even if the region wants to act on this issue, there's nothing that they can do because they're waiting for the police to finish their investigations.
Wow. It seems so emotional, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's an emotional thing because you look at some of the things that they've been highlighting, that Hard Rock won 13-0 away to Gokwe. And people have been asking, you also won 11-0 against Bishopstone last year. And then they're arguing, saying the circumstances are different because they're arguing that when Bishopstone came and played against them, they traveled from Braidbridge to Gweru and played on the same day. But again, we are not hearing the side of the story from Gokwe, explaining why also they lost 13-0, because they are saying also we didn't have some of our players. Some of our players are full-time employed, and they could not make it during the midweek. So we need also to hear the other side of the story. And this is the same Gokwe that they also beat 7-0 last year.
And Sheasham are building their own stadium as well, which suggests they have long-term plans, or they had long-term plans in football.
They have got a long list from Bata shoe company, and they're using their stadium. Yeah, they built a nice stadium. I mean, the renovations, it's a good stadium. And they also bought a new bus this year. And again, you see, in their letter to say that we are also withdrawing, they also highlighted that they are also withdrawing the women's team, which is playing in the Premier League. So the question also has been, what if the girls done to also be pulled out from the league that they are playing in?
And these players have contracts, they're losing their jobs by the looks of it, yeah?
Yeah, when the chairman was addressing the press conference, he said that they are going to continue paying the players until their contracts run out, and also they are going to continue training until the end of the season.
Well, there's so much to unpack there. Obviously, a lot of the information still needs to come out, is what we've heard firsthand. There will be some further developments once the press conference is finished. Coming off the Fanzone Team of the Week for Matchday 30, our player of the week is Ismail Wadi. Great goal, influential in the field, and it's Caps who beat and stunned Simba Bhora. So with that goal that did the job, he's going to earn our title for the player of the week. Matchday 30, a mixed bag of results and also mixed positions on the leaderboard. It is still Icon 505 who remains at the top, but he has dropped points as Simba climbs into second, 3 places from 5th where he was the last time, and Mutsanya. Between the top 3, just 3 points separating those podium leaders. So interesting things happening in the Predictor leaderboard. Steve, how was your predicting this weekend?
It was mixed. I got 3 correct scorelines, including Scotland, including Moors, but the rest of them I was way off. So that was 44 points, pretty good, but should have been a lot more.
Yeah, same as you, Steve. I also got 3 right, and I went and checked this morning. I didn't put my joker on the game, so I dropped points there. So very frustrating. Lars, you also are a very competitive predictor. How'd your predictions go?
Oh, it was a hard weekend, obviously. I predicted Simba to win, and there was my joker there. Then they lost to Cape United. Also, I predicted Scotland to draw at Luveve, but I didn't get it correct, so it was a tough week for me. A very, very tough week, yes.
Yeah, the predictor, you think something is so simple and the match is played and never quite goes according to your results or what you'd hoped. Have you won a sweepstake prize yet, last?
Not yet. Not yet. Hopefully, I will. I will win.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, the sweepstakes are coming through, guys. Jerseys, caps, speakers, power banks, even a TV is coming out this weekend. We'll announce that on our Fanzone social. So make sure you're following us on either Instagram, X, Facebook. Our WhatsApp channel is also up for grabs. So get predicting and get lucky, maybe. Looking ahead in Division 1, obviously with Sheasham pulling out, it means that there's an open space at the top of the table. But what does the rest of the league look like in Division 1? So Simba, over to you. What is coming up for Division 1?
Yeah, it's still game on in the Central Region Soccer League because you still have Gwanda Pirates. They are 9 points behind the log leaders, Hard Rock. So with 6 games to go, 18 points to play for, there's still a lot, and they are still to meet. Should Gwanda Pirates win, it means that they will reduce that gap by 6 points. And also, there's still that issue that needs to be addressed. And if Hard Rock gets docked the points, again, it means that Gwanda Pirates will be firmly in the title race. So still a lot to play for in the Central Region Soccer League. And the twist in the Eastern Region at the weekend, FC Hunters, the log leaders, are falling 1-0 away to Renko Mine. Remember last weekend we were talking about Renko Mine also being party spoilers, taking a point away from Masvingo United. So Masvingo United capitalized. They also managed to win 1-0 against Chivu Stars. So now it is Masvingo United who are now on top, and FC Hunters are now on second position, but these two teams are going to meet at the weekend, so probably that is going to be the decider. So now 3 games left before the end of the season in the Eastern region. There's still a lot to play for because Tenex, the third team, also managed to win 5-1 over Wanku Mazodze. So the 3 teams in the Eastern region are still in the title race, and advantage to Blower Chiefs in the Southern region because they managed to get the 3 points on a silver platter, walkover win over Ajax Hotspurs because they are no longer playing. So every team that plays against Ajax will get the 3 points. They were not in action, but got those 3 points. And you have the two teams that were in second and third position, and Wange managed to beat Nkai United by 2-1. So it means now Wange are in second position, 4 points behind Bulawayo Chiefs and Nkai United on third. So still to play for again in the southern region. And in the northern region, no changes. The two top teams, they drew all their games. Ngombe were held to a 2-0 draw at home by Chinoy Stars, and Agama failed to score a last-minute penalty and played out. They had a goalless draw against Palm, so it's still 1 point ahead for Ngombe in the northern region.
Wow. So some teams find themselves at the top of the table. Some teams find themselves at the bottom. And for the Warriors in the FIFA World Cup Qualifiers Group C, they're currently at the bottom. Last week, Michael Nees released his team for the upcoming fixtures against South Africa and Lesotho. And Simba, what do you think about that team list?
I think when you look at that team list, it's just about, it gives you an indication of the players that is taking to Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. It's just like even you listen to the previous games that we played, when he spoke about, saying he just wants to have those players that he had tried with before, and he believes are the players that you'd want to take. And he kind of had a dig at the youngsters that he had played in the previous game and wanted to stick to the seasoned players. So you look at that list, not much in terms of surprises. It just shows you that he wants players that probably won him the qualifiers in the Africa Cup of Nations, and are the players that he wants to take to the Africa Cup of Nations finals.
Yeah, Steve, you mentioned a number of times that, for the rest of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers, we should use this as a playground, a sort of, playground for the AFCON, rebuild our team. So it seems like Nees has also gone that route, just building up to AFCON.
Yeah, kind of, but not enough for me. I still think these top local players from the PSL deserve a chance. The context of the game, it's huge for us. There's nothing to play for, but it's going to be a big part in determining who wins the group, because South Africa got docked those 3 points for playing Teboho Mokoena, unregistered player. So Benin are now top of the group, amazingly. Nigeria have a chance with 2 games to go. South Africa know if they can win this one, then they will be back in the driving seat, most likely. So it's a huge game in terms of the World Cup picture. Not for us, though. For us, these are warm-up games for the AFCON. I doubt if we'll play pre-tournament friendlies until we get to Morocco. Hopefully we'll play 1 or 2 games there. So Marvelous Nakamba's in again. He's only played 16 minutes this season, 1 sub-appearance, coming back from an injury. I do think Tawanda Mashanise is a player we should stick with. He's played all 7 games for Motherwell in Scotland, so that's good. He's got the game time. Tawanda Chiragwi hasn't played for his club this season, so I would have tried these other guys. I would have tried Washington Navaya, see what he can do at least, give him a chance. Timon Machope, I really think he hasn't been given a chance at all. Came on as a sub against Benin, was it? And he did all right. So these are games, these 2 coming games, where we could have tried the local players. And for me, Tando Ngwenya, now that he's moved to South Africa from FC Platinum, he gets a place in the squad. So it shows us that Coach Nees is not very interested in home-based players. I know Last isn't happy that there's no Simba Bhora players there.
Obviously, I feel like maybe Ishemawuchi was supposed to be included. Also, Butungube for Marvelous Nakamba, who has not played at Luton. Butungube have been the main man in the middle of the park for Simba Bhora. Also, Ishemawuchi have been solid at the back with the club legend Webster Tafa. He was a seasoned player last season, but he has not been called. Also, Washington Navaya scoring for Fani, but he's not in the squad. So we have a lot of questions. I feel like the local players deserve a place in the national team.
Okay. What else are the Simba Bhora fans saying? Emmanuel Zioche, he's had a good season.
Yes, with the numbers, 14 assists have been very creative for Simba Bhora. I feel he can replace Walter Msona while he's not in form. And
No
he's watching the form.
experience.
Oh, but it's not in the form. Look, he's not giving us results. Ziwocha have been the show for Simba Bhora. Simba Bhora are where they are because of Emmanuel Ziwocha. He has been the main who has been the creativity up there for Simba Bhora. Yes.
Yeah, I would just try at least one or two experimental players if I were the coach, Sips, because there's nothing to lose because we're bottom of the group already.
Yeah. And Simba, your score lines for these games, obviously playing home games in South Africa. What are you anticipating for a score line?
Yeah, of course, Sips would want us to beat South Africa, and there's nothing that gives us joy than beating South Africa. But looking at where we are, the way that we have been playing, and how South Africa really wants a win in this game, it would be really difficult to say we are going to get a win, in as much as I would want us to get a win. We might get there with a brave face to say we get a win, but I think it's going to be a South Africa win.
Yeah. And for Lesotho?
Yeah, of course, for Lesotho, we can fence our chances. That one we can win 1-0, 2-0. I think it's still possible.
But we haven't won this whole qualifier, though, so you think Lesotho
I
will be
think we'll
different?
save the best for the last.
The best for the last.
Yeah.
Well, home games, away games. Zimbabwe hosted the T20 World Cup Qualifiers, and we have some very good results. So we'll talk about that in the next section. A very successful ICC T20 World Men's Cup Qualifiers here, hosted at Harare Sports Club and at Takesure Cricket Club. A plethora of runs for our batsman, Maramani finding form again, a couple of 50s. Brendan Taylor with a maiden T20 international centurion, and also Brian Bennett as well with the exact same results. So great outing for the Chevrons. We won the final, unbeaten. We qualified even before the final. We had qualified, but a great result for cricket.
Yeah, sure. Well done to the boys. They did what they had to do. We shouldn't really be playing such lowly teams, so it didn't prove anything playing the likes of Tanzania and Botswana, but Namibia, we know that they can be good opponents for us. So they did what they needed to do. Ideally we would qualify automatically, but we had to go through this process and we made it. We didn't slip up this time. Brian Bennett, definitely the headline with a century and 350s. That was great going for him. Brendan Taylor, interesting that he was able to get his century as well. So, yeah, nothing too exciting, but it looked good. That picture with the backdrop saying champions doesn't happen very often.
Champions and the qualified plaque. So by the time we get to 2026, it would have been 4 years that the Chevrons have not competed and have been excluded from any of the World Cups, only due to qualification, no other reason. But 4 years in the waiting. Our ladies have also had a series going on in the midst. They've been playing against UAE, and in a 4-match ODI series, they drew 2-2, and the very first opening at T20, they lost by 48 runs. So this will be a new challenge for our ladies, especially in the T20 sector. Earlier this year, in the Africa qualifiers, they were playing against, Uganda, Tanzania, and only chasing scores of 120. And UAE came here, they posted 180. So it's going to be a good eye-opener as to what's expected from the ladies before they head on over to the global qualifier in January.
Yeah, I think so. Those games at Queen's in Bulawayo, so it was good that there was cricket there as well. But there were some tough games there for the Lady Chevrons. I would have tipped them to take that series, but there's some high-scoring ones as well. And suggests it's not as easy as you might think it is. There's other teams that are getting stronger all the time there, but definitely very valuable experience, Sips.
Yeah. New competition for the ladies playing against UAE. And in the rugby section, a new tournament which is coming up. Akaris Sports have introduced the Grid Cup, where 4 teams will be competing for the cup. Essentially, it is a tournament where I'm sure Coach Pete Bernard is going to be using to build a stable squad. I know that he has been training a 40-man squad over a couple of weekends, and this is now an opportunity for them to play against each other. Will it replace the Paramount Garment? We're not too sure. But one thing is for sure is that there will be much better competition. In the Paramount Garment, it's always the same 2 teams winning. If you're not a part of the top 4, they're beating everyone by 50-odd points. So this is good competition, good rugby, and something new and exciting.
Yeah, I like the format, like the idea, and it's bound to help in developing rugby, certainly, and get other teams into the picture as well.
Yeah, there's also some youngsters included in there, so good experience for them playing against some of the local-based Sables players. Looking at new things that is coming up, the Zim Nationals are going to be hosted in Vic Falls, but there was an event you attended, Steve, in the bodybuilding world. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, very exciting developments in bodybuilding. We had Kwai Shanghai, the Secretary General of the Federation, on Fanzone a few weeks ago. He told us about the plans, and they are coming to fruition. So I was MC at this function for our top bodybuilders, guys like CC Banks, huge muscles there, Givemore Marume, legend, Innocent Choga as well. Many others were there. It was really good. And there's a big sponsorship from Wange Colliery Company Holdings Limited for the Nationals on the 15th of November. First time that the Nationals have gone to Vic Falls. Only the second time they've been outside of Harare even. So this is great. And Wange Colliery Company are going to undertake that they will transport any competitor who can't afford to make their own way there. They'll give accommodation as well. So it's a very exciting package. This first prize is $5,000. That's a lot of money. And also they're going to make sure everyone who places will get something as well. So these are big plans for bodybuilding. Also on the judging side, there was a South African international judge for Africa who was here over the weekend. So training took place over the weekend. So that means at the Nationals there's going to be world-class judging for the first time, which also helps to take the sport forward. So that was great. And also interesting, Wange Colliery, you know, a lot of our sport, if you go back a few decades, the mines was a great place where many competitors, sports people came through in various disciplines. Wange Colliery have done up a lot of their sports facilities, both for elite and also for employees, because they're looking into fitness. So their swimming pool is operating, athletics track as well. And next month they will be launching a marathon, which they hope will rival the Econet Victoria Falls Marathon, with more prize money, $4,500 to the winner there. So that's also with a entry available for international athletes too. Well, it's pretty hot in November in Wange. But them coming back into sport is really good. For the Bodybuilding Federation, it's not easy to get sponsorship these days. And Simba loves his bodybuilding. I think this is so exciting.
Yes, indeed, Steve, very exciting, and also taking the sport out of Harare for the first time in history. And the money also for the athletes, you know, when accommodation is also available for the athletes, you know, that has been one of the things that have been affecting athletes most of the time, that when you're coming for the nationals in Harare, you have to find your own accommodation. And in terms of transport, you also have to find your own accommodation. But it's very tiring, you know, to get to the stage. And after that, you know, to try to get accommodation and stuff. But when everything is sorted out, it's really good for the athletes.
And I was emceeing this function. I didn't manage to get near the front of the queue when it was time for food. So I wondered if the bodybuilders were going to eat everything before I got my chance, because I know they have big appetites. But some of them are actually on fasting now as they get, or on a strict diet, not eating too much as they get ready for the Nationals on the 15th of next month, because those, and now it's just the final stages in terms of the physique. It's the work that happened a few months ago that will be the major factor in how they perform. Yeah, but they did leave some food for me, which was great.
Yeah, no, it's great to hear Wange Colliery coming back into the sports scene and to go after a niche sport like bodybuilding. You know, our rugby is very well sponsored, you know, our main sports as well, cricket has also got some very good sponsorship. So to come back into the sporting scene and to sponsor bodybuilding, transportation, accommodation, these can only improve, you know, the levels of competition, because this will be very attractive for any of the bodybuilders out there throughout Zim to go and compete in this competition. So that's great work from Wange Colliery, and wow, exciting stuff happening in the bodybuilding scene. There's a lot of drama to discuss which happened over on Matchday 30 at Rafara Stadium. So let's dive into that story. The story which has taken the Zimbabwean football media by a storm. Takesure Chiragwi unleashing anger and pure emotion on McDonald Mokwe with the slap across the face after a call from the referee. So interesting story coming out, Simba. What are your thoughts and opinions? Should this behavior be accepted?
Not at all, Sips. You can't accept such a behavior. It was really sad, particularly when it's happening in front of cameras. This was a live match, and the commotion that was happening. So I thought he should have acted maturely there as a coach, and also one who is also coaching the national team. I like the maturity and the calmness from McDonald Mokwe. He tried to restrain his coach, and even when he was clapped, he continued to try to restrain his coach to say, no, just calm down. And I think when you expose yourself like that in the public glare, what happens behind the scenes? We had that situation of an official from Yada who assaulted a player inside the dressing room, and then the people would not know what happens behind the dressing room. So I think that was a big low, and as a coach, should have done better, and also thought probably you should also have quickly apologized during the post-match interviews, rather than waiting for the following day to issue an apology, because after that, emotions would have died down, and you reflect and say, no, what I did was not really good, and you say, my apologies to what you saw on camera, and also apologies to the player.
Yeah, my main frustration coming from Takeshore's after the post-match review. I'm paraphrasing, but he essentially downplayed what he did. He essentially said, look, this happens all the time. Managers from all over the world have emotions, and it just sort of tends to happen. Then only later did he release his
I think
his
he had
statement.
not seen the footage. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't need to see the footage. He was there himself. He
Yeah,
was in
himself.
full act.
Yeah.
There's no
But
need to see footage.
I think he had not seen the footage and didn't know that he was already trending like that.
Yes. Yeah, but Ngezi felt aggrieved. They believe the referee had blown in the build-up to that strange own goal, and it took a while for the goal to be awarded as well. That's why it erupted there. But Chiragwi, one of our most promising younger coaches, so he's ruled himself out for these upcoming Warriors games, and he's a guy, longer term, he might have had a chance of becoming Warriors coach a few years down the line, so it really affects his reputation now. And yes, coaches get emotional, but not to that degree.
Not to that degree. So should Ngezi take action, because he stepped down from the national assistant coach of the Warriors? Should Ngezi also take action for him to stop coaching?
Yes, from their own point of view.
They'll
be shooting themselves in the foot, I guess. Yeah. But that'll be interesting to see, because the PSL, even on that day, issued a statement condemning what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Last year, obviously, you're a big fan and supporter of Joel Simba Bhora. If he were to ever react in that sort of way, how would you feel?
That's being very unprofessional. I feel like there is no room for such kind of behavior in our local football. What are the sponsors going to say if they see such kind of things happening on the field? So for the development of football, I think it's bad. It should be suspended, both on the national level and at the club level.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of violence trending in the Zimbabwean football landscape. Spencer Muwadi, who a couple of weeks ago had assaulted one of the Yada players in the changing rooms. The PSL have issued a final statement and a punishment, a $4,000 fine and a $4,000 fine and a 1-year ban from the PSL. Simba, is this enough? Do you feel this punishment is justified?
Yeah, indeed. And I think 1 year on the sidelines, it's still fine. And probably when he comes back, he becomes knowing what and what to do as an administrator. No, even if you are not an administrator, but just assaulting or just resorting to violence to resolve issues is not the way to go.
Yeah, so great for the PSL stepping in, doing their job. A lot happened at Caps versus Simba Bhora versus Caps. Obviously, Ishmael Wadi scoring that goal to put them through. But there was a little bit of drama beforehand regarding Tanaka Shandirwa. You have a bit more information than I do, Simba. what is going on with Caps and Nakashandirwa?
Yeah, the rumors that we are getting is that Nakashandirwa and Tendai Matindife just went AWOL before the game against Simba Bhora. So a judgment or something of that sort is going to come out on Wednesday from the bosses at the club. So we're going to see what exactly is going to happen to Shandirwa and Matindife. Are they going to continue the club or they're going to be suspended, but with the 5 games left at the end of the season?
Yeah, that's it's interesting to happen. What was the excuse that they'd put out to not attend?
Yeah, we just to really get what really transpired, but they just left camp and gave some excuses. But would want to have it officially now from the club, since these are just rumors, to tell us what really transpired.
Yeah, just rumors. Another rumor that you have for us last is something to do with FC Platinum. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I heard FC Platinum are now selling their franchising. They want to be out of the league at the end of the season. I don't know how true is it, since they are no longer in the title race. They feel like their chances of retaining the title in future are now low. They want to sell their franchising, yes.
Why do you think FC Platinum would do this?
Oh, maybe they are now struggling to maintain their standards, yes, for pure platinum play. Their standards, they are failing to maintain them.
Is it worthwhile, do you think, Steve, selling their franchise? Because they've been very competitive up until the last couple of match days.
Yes.
Even throughout their history. FC Platinum is selling.
Yeah, this was a bad season by their own standards. Yeah, you'd expect them to be in the top 2, top 3. But who's to say they can't do better next season? I know there have been financial challenges. Of course, it's a platinum team. You think they have lots of money, but there have been financial challenges there.
Okay. Well, just to reconcur that these are rumors. We do have some reliable sources, but we don't really know. The rumors, a bit of rubbish as well, our own thoughts and opinions on what is going on in the landscape. Last week's game time was very successful, and we had lots of answers, and the easy question for you guys just to get yourselves enticed into the game. And last week's question was, name 2 of the 4 teams that got relegated in the Castle Lager PSL 2024 season. And if you said any 2 of these teams, either Arundel Movers, Chikutu Pirates, Blow-Eyed Chiefs, or Wange. So well done to the 4 winners. The graphic is on the screen. We will contact you when your things are ready to be collected. And this week's game time is, in what year did the Warriors first qualify for AFCON? Obviously, with the Warriors are playing in the FIFA World Cup Qualifiers and then AFCON later on this year in December, we thought that it would be a very fitting question in the time that it is. So one last time, in what year did the Warriors first qualify for AFCON? Well, Simba and Lars, it's been great having you in the fan zone with us. Last, I'm sure you'll be rooting for Simba as they get to the last 4 matches of the PSL 2025 season.
Yes, and hopefully we retain the title.
Returning the title. What a return to the title. Let's see what happens. There's so much to go in the season. Well, little to go, but there's still lots to happen. If you enjoyed this content, remember to like and subscribe. There's the Fanzone Podcast, Larry's Look at the League, a great episode. And also our previous episode did very well. Go and check those out. But also follow us on our social media platforms. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.